What's up with it, guys? So I've been sitting here thinking today, and this is it's 2:44 currently. Usually I'm making these videos. It's about 7:30, 8 o'clock in the morning after I get back from working out and whatnot. But I've been reading today, trying to read up on the flower of life and trying to you know grow my interest. There you go. That's what I was trying to say. But I wanted to come on here and I wanted to talk about faith. Talk about what faith actually is. Talk about the unsureties that come with stepping out into faith, which is, not something that most people can do. And it's like even with me. So, man, the motivator that led me to come on here and to say, talk about this specifically is just got off the phone with the old friend and talking to her about my job situation. I was like, yeah, I told her I haven't worked in probably just about I think this week will be a month, which is the longest I've ever been unemployed since I've come out of high school. And even before that, I was working in the summers. But anyways, it's like I was sitting there and I was talking to her, and I was like, "Oh yeah, I'm gonna step out in faith." And of course, it's no fault to her own. But she was like, "Oh yeah, you still should probably get a part-time job, just in case." And I realized like how diluted the actual concept of faith really is. And before, I would never say, I would never even be the type to just go out on a limb and just have faith. Like, no, it's not faith in the sense of, it's not faith in the sense of going out and doing something that you don't see possible. It's not like making the impossible possible, but it's more of having the faith to make the choice that you know is right when the time is right, or having the faith to drop whatever weight or whatever stumbling block you have that is slowing down your own personal walk in faith. And like I say, for me, I don't expect anyone, I don't expect damn near anyone to understand the perspective that I'm currently supporting. But also, I know now more than ever, especially because I am being used to where I am talking to people about this new new experience I've entered into. This this chapter of unsurety. How? And I mean, of course, it's difficult to say the least to step out of your comfort zone, especially in a modern world that is completely built and focused around being comfortable. Like, man, you go into a store, you got AC. You go in your car, you got AC. You always got food. If you're hungry, you got fast food. You have all these things. Not we. I have all these things at my whim. Oh yeah, I'll stick at the radar show. And it's like because of that, because we've all been put into this box of comfort and we need to be comfortable. It's like we are we're scared to be uncomfortable in a sort of sense. It's like you can tell people all day to do this, that, and the third because, like, even, yeah, being uncomfortable helps promote growth. That helps promote change. That helps going through the seasons of discomfort are great. They're great ways to they're great ways for you to show yourself that you don't need certain things in this life, that you don't need to carry these certain weights or these certain beliefs into your next chapter. And for me, like that's what I was explaining to the girl I was talking to. I told her I was like, I've never been someone who would just go out on a limb and do something in faith. That's not who I've ever been. I always had a job, the next job lined up, or the next girl lined up, or the next something. There was always another. That was unfortunate. But there was always. It's like I was always one step ahead of the game that is life. Because I didn't want to be alone, or I didn't want to be uncomfortable or unsure or anything like that. And it's like now we live in this world to where Egypt. We live in this world to where we're so spoiled. That's what we are. We're so spoiled with the with being comfortable that people can't handle discomfort anymore. People can't sit with themselves anymore. People can't be bored anymore. Like there's all these different. Well, look at that, a 2 KD without even paying attention. Make it make sense for me. Logically, make that make sense. But we all been spoiled by being comfortable. We've all fallen under our own. We've fallen under our own. Because we've fallen under our own mind and under our own reasoning, we've missed the mark of what. That emote doesn't make sense. Why would you forfeit after you win? Anyways, we've been spoiled so much by being comfortable that we can't handle discomfort anymore. We can't handle unsurety anymore, or we can't handle change anymore. And to me, it's as if I'm at the point where it's like I would rather step out in faith and see if my God shows up like I know He is, than stay in comfort and continue to settle in multiple ways and multiple assets of my life. And it's like that's why I was trying to explain to her. Like normally, no, I wouldn't have just went out and quit my job. I wouldn't have done that. That's not who I am. Excuse me. But the fact that everything lined up like it did to the point where I left the church my boss preaches at, and then they ended up reaching out to me and they asked me why. And I'm not one anymore to force truth on anybody. I'm not going to be one to try to force someone to listen to what I gotta say or to believe what I'm trying to tell. Because again, it's not our job to make people believe us. It's just our job to tell the truth. So I'm not going to sit there and I'm going to force it. But when someone asks me a question, if you ask me how I feel, ask me what I would do if I was in this situation, I'm going to be completely honest no matter what. Because I truly believe that if you're honest, I truly believe honesty is the best policy. And if you're truly honest, the best outcome will happen no matter what. Even if it makes you a little uncomfortable, which it will, truth always does. Even if it makes you a little uncomfortable, it's it's one of those things to where it's, you'd rather be uncomfortable than continue to settle. And again, we live in this modern generation where everybody's on settle mode. Everybody's struggling to find the way to actually find peace, to find help, to have a sound mind, to have a fulfilled heart, to have a life that's worth living. And, most people, we're all in this world where it's just everybody's settling. Everybody's settling. People they're dating, with the jobs they're taking, with the friends they're hanging out with. Dang, nabbit mine, I should have held my gun up just a little longer. But we're all in the same game. We're all trying to learn the same thing. Just in case, gotta hit him with that double tap. But with me, it's like I'm at a point in life where I can't even express how tired I am of settling. How tired I am of people having authority over me. People telling me what to do, where to go, when to go, how to go, what to say, what to think, like what to believe. Like I'm tired of it. Especially when I am so sorry that that was bad. See the last thing. It's always the guys laying down. Like that's my blind spot. It's laying down. Oh, come on. This gun must have some drop off or something. But anyways, it's like and I think every one of you will hit one of those points where you're tired of settling. You're tired of accepting less than your value, because of course you know how valuable you actually are. You know how, or maybe you don't, because you was brought up in a less than preferred good situation, I guess. That don't really make sense, but it does if you think about it. But it's like we all have grown so used to settling, so used to being ridiculed, so used to being just knocked down for what we know is truth. And again, to me, I'm realizing more and more that most of it, is all just misunderstandings between one or another party. We're all, even though we're all in the exact same planet, we all are still on completely different worlds. Just because each and every single one of us, from my perspective, I focus on certain things. So like that's the reason why I do believe I know that I was led to the point to where I can make this channel, because I can help a lot of people with a lot of things, because of my perspective. There's certain things that I highlight, certain things that I notice that most people don't. Like especially when it comes to psychology, sociology, when it comes to math, patterns, geometry. I mean, that's math, I know. But because of my perspective, I have a certain set of skills that you don't have, that you'll never have. And it's not a bad thing, because it's our differences that make the game worth playing. It would be horrible to be here, to live here, to experience this life and this walk if we was all the exact same. Like that would just get old. Where they at though? Oh, I see. I think outside the box sometimes, ladies and gentlemen. But like I say, it's just like certain stuff, it gets old. And it gets old fast. And like for me, I've been settling when it comes to work my whole entire life. I was told at 6, 7 years old, you're like, man, you're gonna have to work because my grandfather didn't have money. Like, my mom never had money. That was just the way that it was, you know, like my grandfather, had me helping him deliver phone books at the age of 6, 7 years old. And it was, I didn't mind it at all. See that? Let's see how I took that little second of timing to kind of throw him off. Timing right there, boy. That's another one of my strengths for damn sure. But anyways, anywho, oh, really getting shot from someone above is another one. But like I said, I was working at 6 years old, not full time. I was doing it summers here and there. I would be in the back of the van. I would put the phone book in the bag, hand it up to my grandfather. He'd pass it up, throw it out the window, and we just, we'd go everywhere, essentially everywhere that's essentially surrounding. Watch out for that grenade, buddy. Where'd he go? There he is. Why you got, man? I can't stand pre-fired. But anyways, so I did that, 6 or 7. It wasn't like I was sticking with it full time, but just when I wasn't in school or when yeah, I mean, obviously that's that thought. But anyways, it's like I did that, and then he showed me how to like to pressure wash when I was like maybe 10. Which, of course, that's not something that lasted because I mean, he passed away when I was 16, and like I was always the type to, I was avoidant. There I go. I would rather just not even go, not even deal with it, not even experience it. So I didn't go to his funeral. But anyways, that's besides the point. Well, maybe that point will help somebody somewhere, some way. But like I say, I didn't. That's not something that I continue to do. But in time, it's like I continuously settled for what job I was working. I went to construction naturally because my dad did tiles, so I started doing tile with him. How did I do? Not good. Not bad, but not good. Well, I did bad because obviously if you're not doing good, then you're doing bad. There's no gray area when it comes to dealing with the Father in heaven. And that's one thing that I've learned to realize too, is I've learned to try to be very black and white with how I handle reality because that's how God above is going to handle it. Look at I'm still third place. I mean, it's definitely not bad. But I'm under a 1, so not good. Oh yeah, there you go. Lock me out. I don't deserve it. But as I was saying, it's like I was 15, started doing tile work every summer. As soon as I graduated at 18, I started doing it full time. And then when I was probably 21, maybe, then I went and worked with my previous boss, the one who I said, was my pastor, and everything else has happened. And like I say, I never would have made that step out of faith on my own. But because each and every one of our stories, and that's what we're all living. We're all living a story. We're all playing the game, We're all living life. It's a story. And if we don't, I played with that guy before. But if we don't, excuse me, if we don't begin to learn how to play the game, we don't begin to learn the rules of the game, we don't begin to learn to move with the current instead of against the current, then we are going to continuously fall on our faces. Now, see, like for me, I went against the current for a very long time. I went what I believe was the wrong way for longer than I ever should have. essentially. And it's like now, like I say, I would rather fall on my face and lose everything than settle and go to something that brings me out of my character, that makes me live in illusion or makes me live out of alignment with my true self. And when I say the true self, I don't mean the guy you think you are, because everybody, everybody immediately, whenever they think about the true self, they go towards the ego self because it's just that's the one that pops up. It's the, this is who I am, this is what I believe, this is where I'm from, this is what I think, but when it comes to the true self or the spirit self, it's almost as if you resonate deeper with your, like, the dang man, I'm trying to find how to word it. But it's as if the true self that you actually are. Where was I was trying to find that spot. I just seen where it went. Anyways, but that true self, those are the things that, like, that draws your curiosity, that draws your interest, that forces you out of your box, but in a good way. Because I believe that we are okay. Well, not, it's just the way that my mind, it works. It resonates best with me. Man, I gotta stop doing that. Damn, I'm worse for my teammates than other guys are, than the bad guys. But okay, so for me and how it resonates for me, it's as if we're all playing a game or we're all in a movie. Our heart, when correct, that's a very key point. Not right now, not when you're in this fallen state where you're broken and you're miserable and you're just trying to fix yourself. If you're trying to fix yourself, then you're going to lose yourself. If you lose yourself, you gain yourself. That's how the scripture tells us. But dang nabbit, I thought he was dropping because he was dead. But our heart, when in the right place, is the director to our film. It's the guidance to our life story. And the more that you go into those curiosities, I did not even see that guy. But the more that you feed into your curiosities, and the more that you step out of your comfort zone and step into the person that you were always designed to be. Step into the person who you're created to be, not who your ego created. That's two different ways of living. So, like, for example, it's kind of an extreme example, but bear with me. Most of my examples are usually unbelievably exaggerated just to kind of prove the point. But let's say the ego self is looking for a job, and it's someone as myself who used to enjoy the lustful aspects of this life. Now, of course, I no longer do that. That is an old person. But because of the broken state that I was in, I used women to try to fix that broken relationship I had with my mother, essentially. And of course, now I know that's wrong and I don't do it. But if my ego self, before I healed, would have chose a job, it could have went something towards, and again, it's not something that I would have done, but porn star. Just because I would have been getting free sex, I would have been getting paid to do it. I would have been fixing myself in a sense. Now, of course, anybody who knows anything knows I wouldn't have, and it would have been a lot worse. Then it would have been better. I would have fallen harder than it would have ever been worth, to say the least. But like I say, because of how I'm wired, because of how I was designed, I never really sought out a job because I never I never wanted to work. I never wanted to be a part of a work company or none of that crap. Like, that was just not beneath me, but it wasn't something I ever craved. Like I've stated before, the only thing that I've ever truly craved in this life was a real life bond that it would be in comparison to like a soulmate. Somebody who understood me, someone who valued me, someone who watched me, someone who that's better. Still third place, but at least I had over at one that time. But like I was saying, just because of my ego self, I would have went and I would have figured out whatever job I think would be best for me. Instead of like how this career is taking off, it's more what resonates deeply with me, something that fulfills my soul, something that brings joy, peace, etc. to my current walk, to my reality. Because again, even though we all live in the same plane, we are all experiencing different worlds. Each and every one of us are all on our own server in a manner of speaking, or we're all in our own movie and everybody else is just side characters. So to each and every one of us, each and every one of us is the main character and everybody else is side characters. Each and every one of us is trying to fix ourselves, but because we're trying to fix ourselves, we're losing more and more of ourselves because we don't really know how to fix ourselves because we have been falsely led by the environmental factors that we grew up in that led us astray, that didn't truly help us grow into who we were meant to be. Because each and every one of us, you have the current version of you that you are now. You're probably broken, you're probably sad, you're probably depressed, which I know all those words are, they're all to get the same difference, pretty much, same thing. Or you're angry, or you're unfulfilled. And that's because your ego self, who is attached to your past, it's attached to your future decisions, attached to the outcome, it's attached to controls, attached to all these different variables that aren't who you truly are. Who you truly are is the little kid that you once was before all the traumas and before life really hit you. Like that's how you find yourself. You repent, you turn away from what you know is wrong, what you've done that's led you to become this person, and you drop the weights. You have faith. You pray to the Father in heaven, you give it to him, but you have to come to him in spirit and it has to be truthful. If it's not, you're not going to ever fix or solve anything. You're going to continuously stay in a broke, beat down, defeated state that and no one can help you out of it. No one's going to be able to help you out of it because only you can save you. Only you can prevent forest fires. No. Only you can make the necessary changes inside your soul for you to wake up to the potential that you've always been, to help you remember who you actually are. Because most of us, we forget ourselves. We forget who we really are, how powerful we really are, how unbelievable. I wish I'd have got that one. Let's see if I can. Dang, I have it. Come on. That works for me. But we all are in this forgetful state because we've allowed the ego to take control of our lives, the flesh to take control of our lives, the decisions and choices that we've had to make in tough situations, like where you're involved with peer pressure, or you're involved in You know, you have to make a decision in a quick time period, and you make these decisions, and then these decisions become a part of you. When in reality, you never was a part of this decision. You never was any of that, but you're tied to it because your ego is now involved, and your ego thinks that it has to back up these decisions that you made. When in reality, it's those decisions, like, they don't matter. They never mattered. Only thing that matters is the now, the present moment, the the part of you that is here nonstop every day, working at life, trying to become better, trying to be different, trying to show the difference. Like, the part of you that wants to be good, wants to do good, isn't selfish, isn't ignorant. The part of you that's actually self-aware, that's your true self. But if you notice, and it's like that for most individuals that I come across, nobody's self-aware anymore. Everybody's just running around like chickens with their heads cut off, and they can't even see the bigger picture no more because they're so stuck in survival mode, and they're stuck in the they're stuck in these they're stuck in these loops. They're stuck in a pattern that they themselves never decided they wanted. Like, you're stuck in this pattern that your parent gave you or your friend gave you. And it's like, that's not even who you truly are. That's not even what you truly want. And yet you're here defending these choices that you made when you were put into a situation where you felt like you didn't have any other choice. That doesn't make sense. But our true self is inside and it's screaming and it's hurting and it's just wanting to be acknowledged, wanting to be saved. And we're too busy. We're too busy. We're too busy trying to save ourselves to actually save ourselves, because us saving ourselves is the incorrect way to save ourselves, because we don't realize nor do we understand that we've been led wrong. Our parents didn't know what they were doing. Our friends don't know what they're doing. Our parents are just kids having kids. That's all it is. Children having children. Even though people get big, even though people grow up, quote unquote, grow up, you don't grow up unless you actually grow. But people don't grow up, then you're still gonna stay a child. You're never gonna grow past your traumas. You're never gonna grow past your hardship, your differences, the weights that you carry around on a daily basis. You're gonna continue to carry around because you're defending a part of yourself that's not your true self. You're pretty much arguing with yourself when, dang, that annoyed me. But we have to learn to be still. We have to learn to take heed to our life, to be able to be present in the moment, be able to understand why we continuously fall short from what the Most High would have us at. Well, we keep falling short from the victory that's in the Father, that's in our source, that's in our true self. But again, we're all so messed up. Wow, dude, he just sprayed this. See, don't take no skill just to sit there and just spray bullets. Anyways, just different mindset. You know, like for me, I like to do things that make me better, make me grow, make me change, make me adapt, that force me to be uncomfortable so I can rise to the occasion. But anyways, we're all feeding this ego self. Every time you have a bad day, You feel the need to run to McDonald's and get you a Big Mac with a large fry and a large sweet tea. That's your ego self. That's not your higher self. Anytime you have a bad day and you want to go home and drink a beer, that's your ego self. That's not your true self. Anytime you go home and you have a bad day and you want to smoke a blunt to calm down instead of whatever the case may be, that's your lower self. That's not your higher self. Everybody has these different outlets to helps them escape reality because reality is too heavy to hold because we are so far behind in reality because of the fact that we've we haven't faced reality in so long. We haven't faced reality since a trauma hit. That anytime that trauma arises, you revert back to the mind state you was when that trauma initially happened. So if you had a trauma, okay, so for me, example, uh, which I'm realizing now, I think I'm actually supposed to text my cousin because it keeps popping up in my mind as I'm going through this. But like I say, so with me, cousin Michael molested me, 5, 6 years old. He was just doing whatever his dad or his older brother showed him. So he's just another victim. We're all victims, every one of us. But we have to get out of that victim mind state. They want to keep us in the victim mind state. Even though you are a victim, you are still a conqueror. You are still a creator. You're not a consumer. You are a creator. You are here to create. You are here to build yourself. You're here to build your spirit. You're here to build your mind. You're here to build relationships with people who are worth building. You have, now again, we have to learn to have discernment. We have to always follow the path of right. You have to do what's righteous. We have to do what's morally good, principally good. And if you have a hard time with that, read the Bible. Reading the story of Jesus will help you a lot. Help you learn what's right and wrong. Or if that don't work for you, read the Quran. I'm sure there's things that teach you that's right from wrong. But everything we need is inside of us. Everything we need is already a part of us. But in today's system, they keep keeping us trapped by giving us answers that are always outside instead of what's inside. They keep us searching and trying to grab more and more outside of ourselves and trying to attain all of these different material things. And it's like in reality, we're going to die just like that. We're going to die. Death is imminent to every single one of us. But instead of working on the things that matter, working on the part of you that has to survive, the part of you that will continue to survive even after you leave this planet, that part of you has to be able to keep going, keep moving forward. And if your ego self is weighing you down, you're never going to escape the trap. You're going to stay here. You're going to keep coming back, keep suffering, keep, buying into the man, if I was shot a second faster, I could have got a free kill from a pistol. That one works. But if you keep allowing your flesh or your ego to run you, you will never reach your potential. You'll never reach heaven on earth. Essentially, that's what I believe is very much possible. I believe that as we continue down this path, buddy, lay down. As we continue down this path and we pick up these more attachments and we learn these new traits, this stuff that we get from other people, dang, some had told me to go look up there or to go that way. But anyways, the more that we go off the ego self, the more that we are staying in this divided mindset to where we're only using half of our brain, we're only experiencing half of the picture. We're not like, that's something that I was explaining to my younger sister who's staying with me currently. Like, our eyes can only perceive what our mind is ready to comprehend. If you don't believe that there's a God, there's a greater power, that there's a higher power, then there won't be. It'll be you and yourself dealing all of it by yourself. You're gonna have all that weight on your shoulders, and you're gonna break. I can tell you that from experience. You will not survive that battle. Just because we're not designed to hold the weight. That's not our role. That's not our job. We are designed to trust in the Father, to I wonder who shot him. But we're designed to trust in the Father. We're designed to believe in something greater than us, to do whatever is necessary for us to continue to push forward, so that way we don't get a hard reality check, and then we don't know how to react. So we snap, we break, drugs, suicide. I was definitely behind that pillar. But, you know, everybody breaks in their own ways. And if we don't find the answer. And again, I look around and everybody's looking for it. Everybody wants an answer. Like the Christians, the Muslims, the Buddhists, the monks, the Taoists, every one of these individuals, all of these souls are looking for an answer because they realize even after they do whatever it is they're told to do or worship whoever it is they're told to worship, they're still miserable. Like if you don't get peace from it, it don't work. Like that's pretty damn obvious if you ask, yours truly. But we keep trusting our parents, our grandparents, our pastors, our friends, our workmates. We keep trusting all these different spirits and all these different souls for an answer where they themselves are miserable, when they themselves are broken, when they themselves are in a place where they're not happy, they're not fulfilled, they're not growing, they're not changing, they're not adapting, they're not experiencing life in a way life should be experienced. They're experiencing life how someone else told them to experience it. And that's not okay. If you ask moi, it's very, very not okay. But we all have to do the work. We all have to find the path for each of our own walks. Because most of us, we're getting blindsided by life, getting blindsided by reality on a consistent basis. And whenever you're blindsided from reality, some people can't bounce back. And most people's answer is, oh, let me take my life. And that don't even fix it. Because from my study, we come right back here. We reincarnate back into this prison of a planet because you don't escape this planet by dying. You don't escape this prison by dying. You escape it by learning the lesson. You escape it by becoming your true self, becoming who you was always designed to be. But the powers that be want to keep us trapped, so that way we continuously keep coming back and we keep feeding our energy to these spiritually dark forces. I'll say. Some people say demons. Some people say, fallen angels, which pretty much are the same thing. Everybody has these different names for it, but either way, it's all about our energy. Everything in this reality you can think of in terms of vibration, frequency, and energy. Every bit of it. That's why you can sit there and, people, I can lie to you in your face all day, every day if I decided to. But if you know how to read energy, it don't, it's not gonna matter what I say. It's not gonna matter what I try to pull over your eyes because you already know, the truth. You can read it. And, we got people who's like, oh, that's energy, that's crazy. That's that old voodoo stuff. And it's like you don't believe in energy and frequency and things of that nature, but yet you believe in Wi-Fi and Bluetooth. I should have kept the pistol out like a everything. See, that's another thing too. Doubt, self-doubt, strong boy. And I think doubt is a spirit on its own that every one of us are not, maybe not every one of us, but a lot of us have. I know sure as well I do. Man, who the hell is that? That might be the baby. I was like, I knew I heard somebody, but we're all, like I say, we're all looking for help. We're all looking for answers. We're all looking for something different, something that will actually make them change. And that's simply all that it is that you have to do. If you want change, you have to embody it. You have to manifest the change into your reality by embodying the poo. Okay, that's still not bad. Dang. See that guy, hey boy, he must have been hauling tail. Wonder if he'll show it was an overclock. Nope. But we all, that's such a cheat thing to do. It's like, that's easy. Like, camping anathermal? What a weenie. But, and again, forgive me that I have a very strong issue. Well, I don't think it's an issue, but I don't pity. I'm a bit of a, excuse my language, a bit of a hard ass in a manner of speaking with certain things. And I think it's just because, I'm someone I had to fight unbelievably hard to find my peace. I had to fight unbelievably hard to even remotely control my mind. Which, again, there's things that I had to do. I had to change. I had to start meditating. I had to start praying to the Father. I had to start, working out consistently because that's also a mental health thing. I had to start writing. I had to start reading. I had to, and again, it's just me. This is my curiosity. But again, if you don't read, because again, I used to hate reading. Like when I graduated high school, I only finished probably 2 or 3 books. It was the Cat in the Hat book, one, maybe two. I think it was 1.5, if I remember correctly. It was the Percy Jackson books, because Greek mythology always had my interest. Which maybe there's something else to that too. Just kind of brought that to my attention. But anywho, it's like each and every one of our curiosities lead us to who we're supposed to be. But now we're so caught up in trying to survive that we can't be curious anymore. It's hard to be curious and find out you like playing basketball, which is something personal, or you like watching wrestling, because that's WWE specifically, just because that's something that I liked as a kid. If you know Jeff Hardy, that nigga. If not him, Shawn Michaels, another one. Or maybe the powerhouse is Bobby Lashley, kind of Goldberg. He can't wrestle for nothing, but his intensity is, I think that's what put him over. But anyways, wrestling or maybe cars, like, every one of us has these interests when we're children that lead to our purpose. So like with me, like I liked cars, like toy cars, Hot Wheels when I was a kid. Now that I'm older, I like driving fast cars. Like I do not attach to the material in any kind of way, shape, or form. But if there was one object that I had to attach to, it would be my 97 Mustang GT with the 4.6 and 5-speed transmission. And again, that's because it kind of co-links with my dad. And dang it, see that I got emotional and it took me out of focus. That's another thing. Emotions will lead you astray. Don't be emotional. But because you get into emotion, you start running in motion. That's just you start running. But that Mustang is the only thing that I would kind of hold on to. I'm just gonna sit here for a second. I feel like I'm gonna get an easy kill doing this. Here, look at that. There he is, right there. Just told you. And he came back for me because I missed the first opportunity. And see, that's another thing too that I can say that I have viewed with my own eyes that anything from the Father, anything from God that's meant to be for you, you're not gonna miss it. It's not how it works. It's just gonna keep circling you over and over again until you, woo wee. I don't care. That shot made me a little moist. I'm just kidding. Sorry, but thank you for jumping into my line of fire. That was really helpful. But the things that are designed for us and are meant for us, they will continue to circle us until we are ready to receive it. But you can run out of time because again, it's not just you. There's other people on other servers. So, for an example, the girl that I fell for, that I truly thought, and again, this was at the time. I no longer believe this, but I thought she was the one. It was this girl named Paige, and it was like it's one of those things where it's like I know it would have worked if it would have taken off, but she wasn't ready to grow and change out of her comfort zone, so I outgrew her. Because that's what happens. People around you can and will outgrow you if they get themselves on a faster track. And it's as if, like, it's just one of those things to where, yes, things will, like, our Father in Heaven's patient with us. He's not going to just, knock us down and be like, okay, now you can't do this, that, and the third, or whatever the case may be. Like, that's illogical to think. But, oh my boy, I tell you what, letting your eyes aim is a damn cheat code if you know how to do it. But, sorry, I lost my train of thought right there. Made my heart race a little bit. It's rare I get excitement anymore these days. But that's kind of like, from my experience, that's how it ends up playing out. It's like you no longer react anymore. Not in a way of like you're avoidant or what's the word? You're in an illusion, like you're disengaged with the world, you unplugged, whatever the terminology you may want to use. Where is he? Oh, there he is. Ah. But you can't, it's not the fact that you become avoidant, but it's like you grow so much to a point where you realize it doesn't even matter. I should have stayed where I was and I shouldn't have. Patience, another thing too. Patience is a great virtue to have. But because we lack these virtues nowadays, because we lack common sense, because we lack patience, we rush the process. Just like Joel Embiid says, and with the 76ers, because again, basketballs is a big one for me. Think you can beat me? Please come try me. And I'm short. I'm not a big guy. I'm 5'6.5" on a good day. I got a slouch. I'm white, so you'll really be able to win because I'm white and I play basketball. See that? Feeding on your stereotype that way can give you a false sense of confidence. But no, like Joel Embiid says, we have to trust the process. We have to trust in the divine timing. That dude's shot sucked. He shot how many times around me? Anyways, we have to trust the process in order to. we have to let the divine timing make it happen. We can't force it. If we force it, it'll blow up in our face every single time, every single moment. But we're all in this mind state to where I'm gonna have to speed up the process of the kill, see if I can finish this before the game's done. But we have to trust the process. We have to trust that the divine timing is way greater than our own. We have to trust that our higher self knows what he's doing. We have to trust that it's going to work out for our good. It's going to work out for the better. It's going to work out for the greater good of life. Because again, for me, like that's like I was saying with telling the truth. It's like no matter what situation, you tell the truth. That's the guy who we've been on teams before. But if you tell the truth, and if you understand things on a deeper level, then you know that telling the truth, you'll get the greatest outcome possible, because nothing bad comes from doing good. He could have saved 2 of his teammates' life, but he felt the need to come try to do a slideshow for us. But each and every one of us, again, we're all in this system to where we want results now. We got to see the difference. Oh, now. We have to see change now. And it's like, that's not how it works. That's not how the game goes. That's not how the rules work. Because if you do it yourself, you're going to get it. You're going to get your own. You're going to get what you asked for. We have free will. We're designed that way too. So we can experience good and bad. We can do the things that we think are right, which in reality aren't right, just because we're misguided. We're in this fallen state to where we're unable to grow anymore. We're unable to change anymore. We can't see the big picture no more too, because we're too caught up in, oh wow, we came back. What? I would have been, thought I had the right gun. But we're too caught up in trying to rush the process that we're messing up our own story. Who's a stem shot? It don't matter. But we're messing up our own story because we think we know what's best for us, but it's really not us who's doing the thinking. It's our flesh. It's the ego side of us. It's the subconscious part of you that hasn't been brought to light. And we have to align that subconscious with our conscious awareness and become more and more self-aware, so that way we can realize that we have the power and that we are the creator to our own walk and our own life and our own story. But we continuously fall short. We continuously do what we think we know is best. We're continuously doing all these different things that they're keeping us lost, keeping us fallen, keeping us hurt, keeping us broke, keeping us, another description word, it's just keeping us in this state, and we can't do that anymore. We have to step out in faith, guys. We have to trust the process. Thank you for listening. Thank you for your time. Thank you for your patience. Thank you for your energy. Thank you for your support. Please like, subscribe, share, comment. Let's connect. I mean, I want to meet people. I want to see people. Love you. Peace.